time on our two station of choice. Now, this is the time. Jump right on to the segment called Empowering Your Vision on our two station of choice. And on the line, do we have Mr. Makwana? Mr. Makwana, good morning.
Hey, Zantile, good morning. How are you?
I'm quite good, thank you.
I can hear the energy. Thank you so much.
All right, Mr. Makwana, let's just get on to today's talking topic. We're talking about transform yourself.
Yes, today we are talking about transform yourself. We are living in a very changing environment. It has been changing, but over, gradually it has been improving.
Yes.
Let me give you an example. It took more than 75 years for people to start using telephones, the ones that we're using at homes, right? It took more than 75 years, for 1 million people to start using that. But today, it took less than a month for 1 billion to 1 billion people to start using Instagram. So you can see change has always been there, but right now it is at a much faster pace. And people who are able to keep up, to keep their job, to establish fruitful and empowering relationships are those who are able to transform themselves. That is why today we are talking about transforming yourself.
All right. That takes us to the quote of the day.
Yeah.
Every day is an opportunity to transform yourself into a better person.
Every day is an opportunity to transform yourself into a better person.
Mm-hmm.
It's very crucial because
Yeah.
it says to every person, every day, any time of the day, they can decide to get better. They can decide to improve. They can decide, to evolve and do things better than they did them yesterday. I think it calls for it's a call of action for every individual today who may think, it's too late to start. I don't think these things can work. Yesterday I was watching, this one show that I love watching. It's called London Real on YouTube. I encourage our listeners to check it out. And the gentleman who was, interviewed on the platform was Dean Graozi, the author of the book Success, Millionaires Mindset Habits. And he said, when the lockdown hit, there were two people in the same street. They were running, restaurant. The other person, when the lockdown hit, they were saying, wow, why are things this way? They started complaining and blaming. The other one started talking to the management and say, look, let's transform, our restaurant into a drive-through. They started shifting things around, creating space so that they can work, in isolated areas. And the restaurant is still operating today. He said the difference between that, that individual who is operating and the one who just closed the restaurant completely and gave up is the mindset of transformation. That human beings, we are constantly transforming, we are constantly improving. And it's your choice every single morning to decide which one you are going to choose, whether it's growth or whether it's just giving up, whether it's courage or whether it's fear. So I think every single day when, Meggan Roxanne, Roxanne Harry, every day is an opportunity to transform your life into a better person. I think it's a choice that every individual can make. I don't know what to think about that.
I think you just made a valid point. To me, I just took this as it is.
Yeah.
Every day is an opportunity to reinvent yourself, to transform yourself into a better person. But when you kept on explaining it, to me, you broke it down into what I didn't even think it could be broken down to, because it then took me to, what, even the little things that we tend to give up on.
Yeah.
That is just a way. That is just a way for us, or rather, that is just an opportune moment for us to try and look elsewhere, try other ways to actually you know to win, rather not give up. To me, I was more on the I give up type of
Yeah. I
mindset,
understand. Yeah.
but now I get it, I get it.
All right. Before we go to our first point, there's a statement that was shared by this gentleman, John C. Maxwell, in his book Leadership.
Mm.
He said, you cannot remain the same, think the same, and act the same, and expect to win in an environment that is changing. You cannot remain the same, think the same, behave the same, and expect to win in an environment that keeps on changing. I think every single person today, they are under the same pressure that every other person is in, and the decision on what we can do really lies on you. I think that is why it can bring us to our first point. Yeah, develop the self-esteem and self-confidence. That when we don't have the confidence to believe that we are capable of going forward, when we don't have the confidence to believe that we can turn our lives around, it's close to impossible to take the steps that can set us into that path of growth. So,
Yeah.
one of the things that when people were doing research on human dynamics, on what really makes other people successful and others don't, one key element was self esteem. This is how we feel about ourselves. How we feel about ourselves, it really plays a major role in building anything else that we have in our lives. Because the truth of the matter is, Zandile, improving ourselves is the first step to improving everything else in our lives. And how we feel about ourselves, it really sets the tone for the day each day. So the truth of the matter now, when you break it to a reality, when you wake up every morning, how you feel about yourself really sets a tone for the message you are going to be sending the first thing in the morning. It sets a tone for the first thing you are going to do today, or to do this week, to do this month, to do this year. It all drills back to the way we see ourselves and feel about ourselves. So many people today, they are not able to transform themselves because they have absorbed all these negative feelings and emotions about who they are. And therefore, it hinders them from seeing the beauty side of life. It hinders them from seeing the possibility of things unfolding in their way. They don't feel good about themselves. When you dress good, you feel good. When you feel good, you do good. Is the truth. That people who feel good about themselves, they show up with the courage and the confidence to get things done. But the day you don't feel good about yourself, it's hard to really be good to other people. It's hard to really go to deliver excellence. It's hard to really go an extra mile. So many people look around and say, what can push me? It's you cultivating the emotions of worthiness that sets you in a path to say, I can do this thing. I can try this thing. And the energy we radiate drills back to how we feel about ourselves. So that is our first point into that. I don't know if you have anything to share on that, Zandil.
To me, it just goes to, what, at first I used to listen, or rather hear people work words of affirmation for, what, if you say this and you actually believe in it, it actually does actually happen. Until I started practicing it
Yeah.
to a point where I would literally just say, tomorrow I'm going to have a great day. All things that I want to happen tomorrow, they're going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'll be just saying it out of just, I'm saying it's going to happen without really, without really knowing that if at all it's going to happen. Just me just believing in the fact that, like that I'm saying it and I feel good about it, it will happen. And quite oftentimes it actually does happen. And even if some things don't work out, but just the feeling that, I actually believed in this thing, I don't know, it just gives me thrill, and I have a bit of closure.
Yeah. And that's what really creates our reality.
True.
It does create our reality. So the things we affirm for ourselves, it's not what we get outside of ourselves. It's not what people wish for us. We can wish you can be one of the leading, greatest presenters in the world. But if you don't see it for yourself, if you don't believe it for yourself, if you don't believe that you can diversify your income and do much more of branding, you can go out there, become a brand ambassador, you can actually go out there and start your own station, then nothing will ever happen. It's how we feel about the thing that attracts things to ourselves. We don't get what we want. We get what we become. We get the energy we radiate. When we are joyful and peaceful, don't be amazed to see people who are joyful and peaceful, showing up on your way. You are the one who orders your meal. And you do that through the energy you cultivate in yourself. You do that, through attracting the things the way you feel. So at the end of the day, it's all about you. It's all about the energy energy you want to radiate. It's all about what you are cultivating inside of you that sets you in a path to meet the opportunities you meet today.
Mhm. Let's go to the second point, Mr. Makwana, talking about embracing culture.
Yeah, embracing culture ed.
Mm. What
And
is that,
all right,
first of all?
culture ed is
Mm-hmm.
you are not saying, well, what are people doing that I can do? No, you are not saying that. That is fitting in. You're not saying, oh, ba di author, so which means maybe I should be an author for me to belong to the table. No. Culture ed is not saying, well, people dress this way, which means probably I should join in and fit in. Culture ed is not about fitting in. It's the opposite of fitting in. Culture ed is about what are people doing? What do they miss that I can cultivate to add to the ecosystem, to add to the business environment, to add to radio station? Can I start live feeds? Can I start doing ads on my own? Can I start creating content for my show so that even when I'm not at the station, people who follow me can continuously, consume the content that I do? That is culture ed. You don't do things because people are doing them. You don't fit into the system. You don't fit into the way people apply for jobs. You are not waiting to be called. You go to an organization, make your mini research, find out what they are looking for, find out the things that are making them not to win, and helping them to establish that. And then there is no other option for people to, when you pitch to them and say, look, I've been doing a research for your organization for the past 3 years, and I see that your sales are good, but this is where you are lacking. Can I help your business for the next 3 years? People are looking for solutions. They are not
Yeah.
looking for employees. So you
No.
must put yourself in a position and say, how are other people doing things? But on my side, what skill set do I have? What knowledge do I have? What information do I have? What experiences do I have that I can go and pitch to this organization B and C and D? Now, you end up not being an employee. You become a consultant. That is called hiring yourself. And that's what amazing employees do. That's what I've written about in my book, What Amazing Employees Do. They are not employees. They are entrepreneurs, right? And this conversation, Zandile, I'm going to take it to the next level, talking to more than 180,000 individuals who follow BW Jobs for Graduates today. At 9 a.m., I'll be talking about positioning yourself for the fourth industrial revolution. Now, getting back to our at 9 a.m. on that Facebook page, getting back to our culture ed, you don't just wait for things to do them the way other people are doing them.
Yeah.
Things are changing so quickly, and people who are getting opportunities today, trust me, you may be bitter and say, oh, they are favored, they are liked, they know so and so. It's not that. This
Yeah.
economy is refining everything, and it's only creating a space for the best. And being the best, you don't have to fit in. You have to create your own path. You have to decide that the way people were doing things, the way people were presenting, the way people have been applying, the way people have been, having their relationship, I need to improve myself. Why would you remain the same in an environment that keeps on changing? This is the same thing Charles Darwin talked about in the theory of evolution, that species which are not able to adapt, which are not able to transform, which are not able to be flexible, which are not able to upgrade themselves, they are going to face extinction. And it's the same thing in our relationships. We are going to be outbeaten. We are going to lose our jobs if we are not transforming ourselves, if we are just waiting to fit in. Because what is going to happen next, Zandile, is you are going to be going to the next country and they are asking you not for passport, but what do you know that our people don't know that we should allow you in our country? That's where we are heading into. Value creation, being able to create value. So every person listening today, this should be a wake-up call to say, what can you do? What do you know that you can add to the system? Not just adding what is already there. We are not looking for the next, people who are doing the same comedy the way they are doing them. We are not looking for the DJs the way they are doing them. We are looking for your unique you. And therefore, just as I said, like I said in my book, Embrace Your Greatness, I was talking about cutting off the noise. Don't try to do it the way they did it. We are missing information because you think you are not qualified, but your information is not there. We need that one. We need that rare skill. We need that rare way of presenting. So put yourself to the table and present your uniqueness, present what you have. That is what culture ed is about. It's not about fitting in.
Uh-huh. Mr. Makwana, I wanted to ask you something, but you answered it how totally. Anyway,
Yes.
let's go to the third one. It says develop the hunger to better yourself consistently. This one, Mr. Makwana, I'd love for you to explain to us how do you even develop that hunger.
All right. One of the
Uh,
things that is easy to do today
mm,
is to be comfortable. One of the
mm,
easiest things today to do today is to be comfortable and is to be distracted. Many people today are not hungry enough.
yeah,
I asked myself, what is about being hungry, to become better? I think in our lives we can agree, whether it's in our relationship, careers, or organizations, there gets a point where we get really sick and tired of being sick and tired. And the day you are tired of your own personal lies, you are tired of letting yourself down, know that people have been tired about you more than 5 years ago. They were just living with you because they were people. So developing the hunger, to become a better person is being tired of getting the same results again and again and again. It's being tired of knowing, I can do better than this, and developing that, pain inside of you, recycling the pain you have been through to say, I want to make a decision to move. I want to make a decision to improve. And Les Brown shared something about people who are hungry. He said people who are hungry to develop themselves, they are willing to do things that other people are not doing so that they can get what other people will never have. He said people who are hungry, they are willing to do what other people will not do in order to get what other people will not get. And the truth of the matter is this, Zandile. To
mm,
get what you have never had, you have to become the person you have never been. And therefore, it means now you are aware that the fourth industrial revolution is here. Whether I like it or not, I need to know how to use my computer. I need to know how to submit my assignments. I need to know how to deliver value without someone standing by me and say, it's child. I need to put myself under pressure to know how to schedule my own time. When we are still working in the office, it's easy for you to get to the office and know, okay, it's work time. But working from home, you need discipline. So it means what? It means you need to develop the discipline to do what you said you are going to do. There are people who show up at offices and they don't even, work more than 2 hours. Now imagine when now they have to work from home. It becomes a challenge. The next thing they lose a job and say, I am unfortunate. You are not unfortunate. You don't have the desire to develop yourself. You don't have the desire to get better. And therefore, you should put yourself under pressure to become the person you have never been in order to get the results you have never seen.
wow, that was a nice piece.
Thank you.
Anyway, Mr. Makwana, let's go to the last one. Appreciate yourself.
All right, with all these things I've talked about this morning about transforming yourself, one of the
Yeah.
most very important thing, which should be number one, is appreciating yourself. People
Mm-hmm.
are busy right now, and some of the people who used to say, wow, Zandile, you are doing a great job, they are going through a lot. And
Yeah.
they might not say it to say we appreciate you. They might not say we celebrate you, but they
Yeah.
do. But because of they are faced with a lot right now, they have to deal with their kids, their families. Some of them, they have lost their loved ones, and they don't have that energy to say, wow, you are doing a great job. And if you operate only from just the external motivation, you might lose it. So you need to get to a position and say, well, I know it's painful. The world is going through a lot. And I know people may not have time to see what I do, but I really celebrate small wins that I make. I'm celebrating every small progress that I make. I'm appreciating every opportunities that come my way. Build that inner motivation, because things are going to get worse and worse over time. And people who are able to be self-driven are those who are going to make progress. So you want to put yourself in a position where you constantly appreciate yourself, reward yourself, keep going forward, keep improving, and keep getting better. And that's what it's all about on transforming yourself. My name is Mompoloki Makwana, and remember to place an order for my book, What Amazing Employees Do. They transform themselves.
Where do we place that order?
All right, my number is 74776196. 74776196.
I asked you a question. I'll take a Moreti.
Yes.
Anyway, Mr. Morgana, thank
Thank
you
you so.
so much.
All right, thank you so much, Andile. Bye.
All right, bye bye.
All right.